A hot take just in from Conservative commentator Megyn Kelly. The former Fox News anchor is ripping TV hosts for getting too political after the election. The double standard here, Kelly herself spoke at a Trump rally just mere weeks ago.
Kelly made the remarks during an appearance on Sky News Australia, bashing MSNBC Morning Joe co-hosts Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski for meeting with President-elect Trump after he won the election.
Megyn Kelly endorsed Trump just days before that election, hugging him on stage during a rally and branding him as, quote, a protector of women. Now she is criticising other media personalities for buddying up to the president-elect. Let's take a listen.
He doesn't need them. And of course, I think Trump, too, is happy to see somebody bend the knee, which was fun to see. Bend it. Get down. Nice and low. Pucker up. Lick the boot. And now
Kiss
the backside.
The ring. Kiss
Do
the
it
ring.
again.
Lovingly.
That's the only thing I like about it. Like, lower. On your bellies now. Lick it. Do it. I'm sorry. That's the only thing I'm enjoying about this. And then slither back to your studio and try to tell your audience that you convinced they just elected Hitler and a rapist, that, why wouldn't we talk to him? Now he's worth talking to.
Yeah.
It's about two things. One, their ratings are in the toilet. They've beyond circled the bowl. They've lost half of their audience, and they're doing what they can to generate interest in the show. And Trump is a ratings machine. And so they're excited about the possibility of maybe a Trump interview, which everybody will watch, and they'll be relevant, and they'll be talked about again, and they can save their multi-million-dollar contracts because they won't be fired, because they'll generate ratings. And the second thing, and I actually think these are in reverse order, because the second thing I think is the most important to these two, and it is the access to power that they crave. And this is what I find so unattractive, Paul. I have the opposite. As soon as anybody starts inviting me like too much into the fold, I repel. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not on anybody's team. Not on your team, not on his team, her team. I'm a journalist. I'm an independent, not putting on anybody's jersey. These two are like, we're out. No. What do we need to do to get up back in? It's like, well, your circle's over here and they lost. So you have to rebuild and you have to say something to your viewers. It's going to make them feel better and show the way forward. No. Our circle has no power. We need to be with the all-powerful one. Oh, maybe he'll pat us on the head. Maybe we'll get to go to a White House state dinner. Maybe we'll matter. Like J-Lo said, you matter. They were listening. That's what they need to be told. You matter. So they had to go and ingratiate themselves with him so they could feel special, like the chosen ones, like the elites. They can't be the losers who don't have access to the sitting president.
Well, I have a lot to say about this, and this may be the thing that we disagree most on today, Amber, because I have lots to say that's critical of Megyn Kelly, but do you wish to offer a preemptive defense?
No, go ahead, and then I'll respond.
Okay. So here's my issue with this. I thought that the Mika and Joe thing was terrible and risible and fundamentally fraudulent, because they had gone from when Trump first began running for the president, being kind of his besties, and he was on their show frequently, chit-chatting and having warm conversations. Then they decide that he's this enormous danger to American democracy, and then he wins the election, and they decide he's not, in fact, that big a danger, and let's go down to the court in Mar-a-Lago and pay homage, so we don't lose our access, or so we can boost our ratings, or all of that. I just found the whole thing ridiculous and damaging to their credibility.
So far, so good.
Yes, I figured I'd start with the part that we'd agree on. The problem is, like Megyn Kelly saying, I'm not putting on anyone's jersey. She was speaking at a Trump rally right before the election. Of course she put on his jersey, so to speak. And second of all, if you look at her history of broadcasting, it began, in terms of national prominence, with Fox News. At times she was critical of Trump during that stage, but she was a fairly standard Fox News host. Then she remakes herself, because NBC handed her a huge check to try to be this kind of daytime female chat show host and remove her own hard edges. And now she becomes clearly a very conservative media commentator, arguing that no, she's standing apart, she's showing her independence, when anyone who has paid even perfunctory interest to her evolution knows that she is not in some fashion charting a middle course or an independent course. She is very much on the pro-conservative and pro-Trump side.
She's definitely conservative, and I would track her journey a little bit differently. And here's what I would say about it is that when she did go to that daytime talk show host position at NBC, I had the same reaction. I was like, no, Megyn Kelly, like what you're good at is grilling people, and you're good at digging deep into the news and talking about the heart of the issue, and doing this sort of like goofy dance on TV doesn't comport with your personality. But she never hid the fact that she was conservative when she was doing that show. In fact, one of the reasons she ended up getting fired was because she didn't think it was a huge deal that some reality show star, I forget who it was, had used bronzer to darken their skin to portray a black person for Halloween. She said, look, you know, should she have done it? Probably not, but I think we're all getting a little bit too worked up over this. That was the reason why she was fired. And so my understanding, based on people who know Megyn, was that this was something that really radicalized her in a sense. And so she wanted to be more open about what her views were after that, because she was kind of free in a sense to do that now that she wasn't beholden to a big corporate network. So I don't know that she had like a massive evolution in the sense of running with what was popular at the time, but I think it was more about her personal experiences of being in broadcast media for so long, of being with big corporations, and then kind of being unshackled, right? And so that's how I kind of view it. I agree with you that her phrasing about not putting on the jersey or being independent was a little bit eyebrow raising. The fact that she followed it up with the idea that Mika and Joe are doing this because they want access to Trump is where I kind of fell a little bit back into, okay, I get what she's saying, which is they are bending the knee to Trump in exchange for something, right? Like they want something in return, whether it's Trump being nice to them again, them being friendly, maybe they want an interview. I think when Megyn endorsed Trump on that stage, she wasn't expecting anything in return. I don't think she wants to work in the...
Go on, but it's a very generous interpretation. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it was a surprise endorsement at the last minute. She obviously, at least according so far to the transition picks, is not trying to work in the administration. She's still doing her podcast. I haven't seen any reporting or indication that she is trying to work for Trump. So I don't view this as the same kind of favor trading that's being done by the Morning Joe team. And I think if Megyn Kelly were lobbying for a transition position, that would probably be reported by now.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that she's looking for a position within the administration, but I do think that she has, generally speaking, shifted herself to greater proximity to Trump world and to much less hostility, or even just generally holding him to journalistic account. I mean, it was Megyn Kelly, of course, who asked the famous question at the debate about comments that Trump had made about women. Then Trump subsequently suggested that she had asked those questions because she was menstruating. And now she's like his best friend and thinks he is a protector of women. I think that is just inevitably a move to make yourself more comfortable or closer to
But what
power.
if she really believes it? I mean, she could be speaking from an actual sincere place that she thinks Trump was the best pick for president.
No, she could, but here's the issue that I have with that, Amber. It is possible that she could. It is also possible that Mika Brzezinski really thinks that it is time to set a new tone in national politics, and that's why she went with Joe Scarborough to Mar-a-Lago. Except, I think if we are being intellectually honest, we have to accept that both those things are highly implausible. And the problem that I have a lot of the time with a certain brand, and I'm not accusing you of this, but a certain brand of people in the sort of Trump kind of Elon podcaster world, is that it seems to me they are very, very skeptical of the explanations given by liberal-leaning people for various things. And that is fine if they want to be skeptical of Joe Scarborough or skeptical of other media personalities or whatever. But then they extend the most enormous level of credulousness toward anyone who will, in fact, put on the red cap and be Make America Great Again, and leave themselves open, in my view, to all kinds of opportunists and grifters who just, say, yay, Trump more often.
I do think the time frame that these evolutions occurred over matters, though. Megyn Kelly, in that debate, that was in 2015, I believe, or 2016. So we're talking about almost a decade. And I can say, with a lot of personal experience, that a lot of people in the Republican Party and on the conservative side were deeply suspicious of Trump in 2016. A lot of them outright hated him. But they came around during his first term because they saw that he wasn't what the media sold him as. He actually had a really great first term for a lot of conservative priorities. And they joined the Trump train, for lack of a better term. And that was a sincere, I think, shift in the party based on the fact that they felt like they had been sold a lot of lies about what Trump was going to do and who he was. Morning Joe, it's only been a month since they called him a fascist. I mean, don't you think that the time frame matters in terms of how quickly the switch flipped?
Well, but you see, I think the time frame matters in lots of things, and I think the time frame matters when Megyn Kelly is saying, I'm not putting on anybody's jersey within a month of appearing
We're in
at a
agreement
Trump rally.
on that
Right.
her language there was not right.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should leave it at a point. One point of agreement in the Megyn Kelly matter. We will have lots to either agree or disagree about. We'll keep you in suspense, and we'll have a lot more topics to talk about on Rising right after this.